So, today is the 8th of May, and on this day in 1894, a series of riots began, which eventually led, they were labour riots, and they eventually led firstly to a lot of deaths, but secondly, more or less directly, to the creation of Labour Day as a holiday for working people. And it turns out the people who were going on strike were railway workers, and their boss was George Pullman, famous for Pullman trains. And I have to admit that I quite like Pullman trains. I went on one with my family many years ago on the sort of Orient Expressy type trip, the murder mystery, and it was amazing. And I live in a town called Pullman, which is in fact named after George Pullman. It turns out that the story has it that we were called something else before, something like Three Springs or something like that, to do with the artesian wells that are here. And legend has it that someone proposed that we get called Pullman, and maybe George Pullman would give us some money. So the name was changed to Pullman, and apparently we got $50. Hooray! That was amazing. But it turns out that he's a bit of a rapacious capitalist, and in addition to building trains, he also was a slum landlord, and lots of his workers lived in his accommodation in Chicago. They're still a part of, they're called Pullman, the Pullman district. And it turns out that when there was a bit of a crunch, like these people do, they reduced the wages of the workers. You know, there was some short-term crisis. He wasn't getting enough money to carry on being super magnificently wealthy, so of course he cut wages of his workers. But surprisingly, he did not reduce the rent of the accommodations that he owned that his workers were living in. So they rioted, and there was a huge overreaction from police, of course. Lots of strikers were killed, and there were loads of riots, and you know, in the end we got Labour Day, but you know, it's not as though we're really living in a system where rich people don't get away with things all the time and workers pay the price. So I'm not particularly sure that I'm going to make the drink tonight that I'm going to make to celebrate George Pullman, even with me here in my Pullman National Lentil Festival t-shirt. No, I'm more making this drink to celebrate the railway workers who fought against this evil, fat, bloated capitalist and won. And I got an extra day off a year. Well, better than nothing, I suppose. So there was one drink I decided was really going to be it, and this drink is called Blue Train. And so, of course, I am listening to Blue Train by John Coltrane. It's a magnificent album. It's all blue on the front, and this drink, it turns out, is blue as well. Let's go straight to making it. It's a gin drink, so we're going to go with 2 ounces of London Dry gin, like so. It takes 3/4 of an ounce of triple sec. I don't have triple sec, I've mentioned this before. I happen to have some orange curaçao in, which is slightly drier, I think. Nonetheless, I think it'll give it that good orangey taste that we want in this drink. So as I said, 3/4 of an ounce of that. It also takes 3/4 of an ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice. And so here I am, freshly squeezing my lemon juice. That might be 3/4 of an ounce. I will check it, and if not, I will make some more. Yeah, you know, I'm going to need a tiny bit more, so we'll do that. You've got to get your proportions right, even though sometimes I do like a drink that's a little less citrusy, but I think with this, because we've got more curaçao going in, that this will be okay. I'm just going to squeeze it straight into the measuring cup so I can get the right amount. There we go. 3/4 of an ounce of that, and then the blue, of course, and that is actually going to be blue curaçao, and we are going to put a mere 1/2 ounce of that, but it will of course make the whole drink just a little bit sweeter as well. In that goes. It's a citrus drink, so we're going to shake it. It's nice and chilly. Should help wash away the stench of unbridled capitalism, I think. We're going to strain that straight into our already chilled cocktail glass. What a gorgeous colour that is, I have to say. That blue colour there. And the only garnish this takes is a wedge of orange, which I will do, hopefully without chopping off one of my fingers, like this. Do a little slice in it so I can rest it on the side of the glass, and let's see what we've got. Oh yeah, here's to the workers. Cheers.